Welcome to this explainer. Okay, today we are taking a massive leap. Look, if you've been casually asking chatbots to just write little snippets of code for you, it is officially time to level up. Our goal today is to transition you from just kind of casually chatting with AI to actively building and scaling real production-ready AI applications using Google AI Studio. There's this really bold statement spreading like wildfire around the dev community right now, and it says, stop using consumer chatbots for your workflow. And honestly, it hits the nail right on the head, doesn't it? We've all been there, highlighting code, copying it from a chat interface, pasting it back into your IDE. It's just full of friction. It's this incredibly manual, brittle process that is basically impossible to automate or scale. So the big question is, how do we actually bridge that gap? How do we go from just chatting with an AI to actually building software with it? Well, it requires a complete mindset shift. We literally have to stop treating AI like a conversational buddy in a browser tab. Instead, we need to start treating Google AI Studio as a true integrated development environment. It is an IDE specifically engineered for prompt design and application integration. Okay, let's map this out. 1. Stop chatting, start building. 2. The free tier privacy attach. 3. Choosing your Gemini model. 4. Rate limits and scaling. And 5. Pricing and cost optimization. Let's dive right into this. Section 1. Stop chatting, start building. You want to think of AI Studio not as a chat app, but basically as a robust platform that hands you API-ready code on a silver platter. It's a super fast, rapid prototyping workflow. 3 simple steps. First, you define your system instructions. This is where you tell the AI exactly how to behave. For instance, you can instruct it to strictly output valid JSON and absolutely never explain its work. Second, you just test your prompt right there in the UI. And third, which is really where the magic happens, you click the Get Code button. No more copying chat text. AI Studio instantly exports production-ready Python, JavaScript, or curl code directly into your codebase. And before you even click that export button, you have an unbelievable amount of room to work with. AI Studio supports up to a massive 1 million plus token context window. So you aren't just pasting in a function or two, right? You can drop entire code bases, massive system logs, or even an hour-long video right into the prompt window to give the model the full picture before you export your code. Section 2, the free tier privacy catch, data confidentiality. Now, as we move closer to production, we really need to talk about a critical gotcha that developers have been discovering in the forums. If you are experimenting in the free AI Studio Web UI, your data can actually be used by Google for model training, and it could potentially be exposed to human reviewers. Compare that with the paid Cloud API. When you send data via a Build API project, your data is completely confidential, zero training usage. And here is the vital catch you need to remember. Even if you are logged in with your corporate Google business account, using the free web interface still does not offer enterprise confidentiality. Let me read this definitive conclusion straight from a deep dive in the developer forums. It says, any and all conversations conducted directly within the aistudio.google.com web chat interface are not covered by enterprise data confidentiality protections and may be used by Google. The whole takeaway here is to empower you. Use the web UI with public or mock data to design your prompts quickly. That's totally fine. But you absolutely must move to a Build Google Cloud Project API for any sensitive or proprietary enterprise data. And this brilliantly illustrates our next point. Section 3, choosing your Gemini model. Tools for the API. Making that jump to the API unlocks an absolute arsenal of tools. Let's break down the big 3 models you'll be using. Gemini 2.5 Flashlight is your cheap, high-volume workhorse, perfect for those basic, high-speed tasks at scale. Then you've got Gemini 2.5 Pro, which is the heavy lifter, designed specifically for complex reasoning and really advanced coding challenges. And finally, Gemini 3.5 Flash is your cutting-edge choice. It brings frontier intelligence right out of the box, along with top-tier search and grounding capabilities. But remember, AI Studio isn't just about text. It is a fully multimodal playground. Through the API, you can easily integrate state-of-the-art tools like Imagen 4 for high-quality image generation, Veo 3.1 for video creation, Lyria 3 for music and audio, and even the brand-new Computer Use Preview for building browser agents that actually automate desktop tasks. You are building a rich, sensory AI application here, not just a simple text bot. Let's move to and see how this builds into real-world applications. Section 4, rate limits and scaling, production readiness. Prototyping in the playground is one thing, but successfully launching a production app with real users is another reality entirely. To scale without your app crashing, you have to intimately understand three key metrics: RPM, which is requests per minute, TPM, tokens per minute, and RPD, requests per day. A really vital architectural detail to remember here is that these rate limits apply per Google Cloud project, not per individual API key. So generating 10 API keys in one project won't multiply your limits. They all share the exact same quota pool. Let's ground these numbers in reality using Gemini 2.5 Flash. The free tier gives you 10 requests per minute. If you enable billing to hit tier 1, you instantly jump to 300 RPM, which can comfortably handle, say, a 20-person dev team using a coding assistant throughout the workday. But if you're building a peak-hour customer support bot with 500 concurrent users, you are going to desperately need the 2000 RPM provided by tier 2 to avoid timeout errors. So, how do you actually unlock tier 2? Well, the magic number is $250. Achieving Tier 2 requires a cumulative Google Cloud spend of exactly $250 across any cloud services. So, not just Gemini, along with 30 days having passed since your first successful payment. Once you cross that threshold, boom, you unlock massive capacity for your application. Even with those high limits, a sudden spike in traffic means you might eventually hit the dreaded 429 resource exhausted error. Proactive prevention is absolutely key here. You need to implement exponential backoff with jitter in your code so you can handle retries gracefully. Beyond that, employ specific strategies. Batch your requests together. Optimize your token usage by keeping those prompts concise. Cache your responses. And always build in model fallbacks. Basically, automatically route traffic to cheaper, faster models whenever your primary model hits its ceiling. Which brings us to our final hurdle, Section 5. Pricing and cost optimization. Pricing and scaling. Running these highly capable models at scale in production ultimately comes down to economics, and the price difference for heavy usage, say processing 1 billion tokens, is dramatic. Using the Gemini 2.5 Flash model for that volume will cost you an estimated $75. Running that exact same volume through the 2.5 Pro model, that will cost you $1,250. This brilliantly illustrates why picking Flash over Pro whenever you can isn't just a minor technical choice, it is absolutely critical for your bottom line. And you can drive those costs down even further. Context caching is a massive cost saver. If you have repeated prompts, like a huge set of system instructions or a giant code base you're repeatedly querying against, caching can reduce your costs on that cached portion by up to 75%. Also, if you have non-time sensitive tasks, using the Batch API will give you a flat 15% discount right off the top. Optimizing your code quite literally means optimizing your wallet. We've journeyed all the way from a free conversational playground to the economics of a scaled multimodal production API. So I'm going to leave you with this final thought. Are you ready to stop chatting and start building? The tools are sitting right there in Google AI Studio just waiting for you. It's time to open up the IDE, define your system instructions, export your code, and launch your next big application. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and happy building.